Shalom everyone, my name is Tatra Cohen. Welcome to Out of Africa Torah session. Today we are in Parashat 26 and the name of this Parashat is Shemini. Shemini means eighth, and we'll find some very beautiful insights out of this Parasha. It's coming from the book of Leviticus chapter 9 from verse 1 to Leviticus chapter 11 verse 47. Allow me to read for us, and I will read in a complete Jewish Bible. On the 8th day, Moshe called Aaron, his sons, and the elders of Israel, and said to Aaron, take a male calf for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering, both without defect, and offer them before Adonai. Then tell the people of Israel, take a male goat for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both a year old and without defect, for a burnt offering, and an ox and a ram for the peace offering to sacrifice before Adonai. Also a grain offering mixed with olive oil, because today Adonai is going to appear to you. They brought what Moshe had ordered before the tent of meeting, and the whole community approached and stood before Adonai. This parasha, Shemini, or eighth in English, is a wonderful parasha. And if you continue to read, you'll find many interesting things that happen where we can draw a number of lessons from what happened on this special day. If you continue reading, so our rabbis tell us that by them taking each, there's already a problem. There was no unity in the avodah, in the worship, in the service that they were giving to God. And already we see that each one we are supposed to give, especially in corporate prayers, in corporate worship, in the places of worship, even at home, Adonai expects us to worship Him as a unified body, as a singular entity. We may be plural, but we should approach Him in that unity, in that oneness, in that harmony of spirits and cooperation. And another thing our rabbis also tell us, we are told in the Torah that these sons of Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, were also single. They had not yet married. And for this to be mentioned, it shows that they had passed the age where they were expected to marry. In other words, they were almost becoming old men without getting married. And why is this being mentioned so much? It is because they, according to our sages, we are told, they thought of themselves to be so superior than the rest of Israel. Meanwhile, we are told the identity of Yeshua when he came, according to the writings of Hebrews, he was supposed to be made exactly like his brethren. In other words, anyone who thinks high of himself than his brethren is not fit the service of Adonai. And we see the same thing happening with these two sons of Aaron. They did not marry on their time to marry, because when they looked of the daughters of Israel, they found none of them to be fit to be their wives. Imagine such arrogance that you don't even want to marry because you feel superior than any of the children of Israel. And because of the same thing, that's one of the reasons why they were consumed. Our rabbis tell us so. So we see now, and as the story evolves and the narration goes on, and you see that from there we can learn that Adonai does not take pleasure in arrogance. This is why many of the scriptures continue to tell us about humility, and we see that Adonai rejects the proudful, the proud, and He gives grace to them who are humble. And let me tell you one thing, it is better you humble yourself than to expect or to wait for Adonai to humble you, because when He humbles you, I tell you, it's something that is never easy. So blessed are those who are humbled by themselves than to wait to be humbled by Adonai through circumstances which may sometimes be hard to bear. And another thing which we see from this parasha, or a second lesson which we may draw out of this parasha, is when we read that Aaron was silent when all these things happened. After losing two sons who were so precious, like any parent, I'm like to believe that these children were so precious to him, not just to him, even to their uncle Moses, even to the rest of the children of Israel. And they were so precious. And since they were precious, and he happened to lose them, and on the very day of this parasha, we are reading that he is asked actually to come and offer service to Adonai. After losing, after tragedy, he was still able to come. But not only that, the Bible tells us that in all this, after losing their sons, Aaron was silent. And this is where it gets very interesting. Most of us would be complaining, probably myself. These days, okay, I don't complain much as I used to. But like the children of Israel, I used to complain. I used to complain about everything. When the sun scorched so much, I complain. When there's so much rain, we complain. Especially here in Africa, our roads are bad, and we complain almost about everything. And God hates complaining. The children of Israel made their journey in the wilderness so much longer because of murmuring and complaining one after the other. And Adonai called them the evil generation because of simply complaining. What do we learn from this? Aaron took a moment of silence. What did it mean? In other words, it was a moment of self-introspection, self-examination. And this is what Adonai expects for us. Sometimes you find a number of tragedies happening in our life. Why are they happening? Recently, even myself and my wife, we had a challenge, and I told my wife that maybe God wants our attention. And she agreed. And we became a little serious, more serious than we were with the Lord. Why? Because certain tragedies, they are not meant to destroy you, but they are meant to get our attention. They are meant to get Adonai's attention in our lives. And this is the same thing which Aaron did. Instead of him complaining about the loss of his sons, he went on and he became silent before Adonai. What a beautiful lesson we learn from this parasha. We are coming from Passover recently. We had a beautiful Passover, reminding us of the deliverance, not just reminding us, but also renewing this deliverance to the modern day Israel. And as we are transitioning towards the time through the counting of the Omer, towards the time where our fathers received the Torah of Adonai on a day of Shavuot, on a day of Pentecost, let us renew our strength before him, as it is indicated, it is being seen and represented by the number 8. The number 8 represents the renewal or the new beginnings, and it represents the supernatural. I pray that this week, may there be supernatural things happening in your lives, and not just you, but in your home, in your household, at your workplace, and in everything that consists with you. But most importantly, may there be new beginnings. May you renew your service to Adonai. May there be new beginnings with your walk with the Lord. May you renew your walk. May you renew your vows to Adonai, that things may go well with you. I wish you all well with the coming of Shavuot and the counting of the Omer. Thank you. Lehitraot. Shalom.